Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. This is Yermiyah, YOSHSHAALIA, Benyahrael, and this is Real Talk. I'm about to turn some lights on because it's kind of dark. And in order for me to, a lot of people say to me, well, how come we don't ever see your face? So now you're going to see me today. I ain't promising no more, but just for today. I started out in the book of Zephaniah chapter 2, and I'm going to continue in chapter 3 of the book of Zephaniah. And this is woe to Jerusalem and the nations. Woe to her who is rebellious and defiled. The tyrannical city, she heeds no voice. She accepts no instructions. She did not trust in the Master. She did not draw near to her Creator. Her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are wolves at evening. They leave nothing for the morning. Her prophets are reckless, treacherous men. Her priests have profaned the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. The Master is righteous within her. He will do no injustice. Every morning he brings his justice to light. He does not fail. But the unjust knows no shame. I have cut off nations. Their corner towers are in ruin. I have made their streets desolate, with no one passing by. Their cities are laid waste, without a man, without inhabitants. I say, surely you will revere me, and set instructions, so her dwelling will not be cut off. According to all that I have appointed concerning her, but they were eager to corrupt all their deeds. I'm going to stop right there and just go over, recap it real quickly. Woe to her who is rebellious and defiled. The tyrannical city, tyrannical city. She heeds no voice. She accepts no instruction. She did not trust in the Master. She did not draw near to her Creator. Her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are wolves at evening. That's what we got right now. The nation of Yahshua, our mother is Jerusalem. And Jerusalem children, her sons are roaring lions. And all the judges are corrupt. Look at the judges that we have out here. And when we talk about judges, talk about those who are supposed to be counselors, to give righteous instructions. They corrupt. Look at all these different denominations of the Israelite churches. It's not supposed to be the Israelite church is this, and the Israelite church is that, and the Israelite church is this, and I am this, and I am that. It's supposed to be one body, one truth, one faith, one baptism. Not the Israelite church is this, the Israelite church is that. You have divided the sheep to bring it to your fold, and you are wicked shepherds. You are the judges that are wolves. That's who you are. And Jerusalem, our mother, did not receive the instructions. So her children, her sons, her princes within her are royal lions. Her judges are wolves at evening. They leave nothing for the morning. These pastors in the church having people coming every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and putting something in the collection plate. People can't even pay their bills, waiting on a blessing. They throw money down the altar. He walking over it. Money, 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 money. I'll put some anointing on it. All these things. You got TV evangelists telling you that you don't have to keep the 10 Commandment laws no more. Which is absurd. That means I can go out there and do whatever I want to do. I listen to him, and we know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention no name. It says, Her prophets are reckless, treacherous men. Her priests have profaned the sanctuary. How are they profaned the sanctuary? They're inside there trying to pimp the sisters. That's how they profane them. Trying to pimp the sisters in there. Because he ain't talking about the churches. He ain't talking about the harlot. He's talking about Israel. Her prophets are reckless, treacherous men. Her priests have profaned the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. Meaning they chopping the law up on which law they're going to keep. Oh, we don't keep the Passover no more because unless we inside Jerusalem and the temple, we can't have a priest to till the land. Deuteronomy chapter 30 knocks all that out the box. And I'm going to go there real quickly just to prove my point. Not my point, but just to prove with Select. I'm going to cite it. Most High, let your spirit speak through me, and not my words, but thy words, to those who hear this truth. Forgive me for my impatience. I'm going to Deuteronomy chapter 30, and I'm just going to read briefly. It says, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1, restoration promise. So it shall be when all these things have come upon you, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before you, and you call them to mind, that when you call them to mind, in all nations where the Master your Elohim had banished you, and you return to the Master your Creator and obey Him with all your heart and soul, according to all, not some, according to all that I command you today, you and your sons. Then the Master your Elohim will restore you from your captivity and have compassion on you, and will gather you again from the people where the Master your Creator has scattered you. So, key word here was where you were banished to, and according to all that I command you today. What was Moses commanding them to do? Chapter 29, these are the words of the covenant which the Master commanded Moses to make with the sons of Israel in the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he had made with them in Horeb. And Moses summoned all Israel and said to them, you have seen all that the Master had did before your eyes in the land of Egypt, and to Pharaoh and all his servants and all his land. The great trials which your eyes have seen, those great signs and wonders. Yet to this day the Master has not given you heart to know, nor eyes to see, nor ears to hear. And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes have not worn out on you, and your sandals have not worn out on your feet. You have not eaten bread, nor have drunken wine or strong drink, in order that you might know that I am the Master, your Elohim. When you reach this place, Shahom, the king, Hezbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, came out to meet us for battle, but we defeated them. And we took their land and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manassites. So keep the word of this covenant to do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. He said, keep the words of this covenant to do them. What was the covenant? To keep the commandments. You go over to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall be, if you diligently obey the Master your Elohim, being careful to do all his commandments which I command you. So he goes to verse 30 and tell you, in order for you to come out of your captivity, you got to do what I have commanded you to do this day. Keep the commandments. Was not this what was given to us, the commandments, was not Moses, the leader of YOSHSHAALIA? Did not they have a Passover? Do we not have Leviticus, Numbers, Exodus? They give us the laws, the statute, commandments. So therefore, he's telling us the things that he already commanded. And when he was commanding that day, look, keep these commandments. I call heaven and earth as a witness against you this day. So those who teach him that we cannot keep the feast days and the land of our captivity are not teaching with the spirit of the Most High. They are erring. They have erred from true laws. As it says in Zephaniah chapter 3, it says, verse 4, how prophets are reckless, treacherous men, how priests have profaned the sanctuary. They have done wickedness, they have done violence to the law. That's how they have done violence to the law, by teaching you that you can do this and you can't do that. You can do this and you can't do that because we're not in the land of our inheritance and we don't have the Levites. The Messiah made it perfectly clear that we all are priests now in the order of Melchizedek. So as a priest in my home, I can order the sanctuary. Do we not have the laws on those who want to become bishops? He must be an upright man, a husband of one wife. It goes on to tell you the services of the inside the temple. So, where was the Levites then? Where was the Levites then? Because the Levites was for the one temple. How come there were different sanctuaries that they were making all over the place, or places of worship, in different areas where Israel was scattered to? Come on now. I mean, this is very simple. Even a child can understand. But a lot of people try to get technical and they don't want to understand Scripture. It says, the master is righteous within her. He will do no injustice. Every morning he will bring his justice to light. He does not fail. But the unjust knows no shame. I have cut off nations. Their corner towers are in ruins. I have made their streets desolate, with no one passing by. Their cities are laid waste, without a man, without an inhabitant. I said, surely you will revere me and set instructions, so her dwelling will not be cut off, according to all that I have appointed concerning her. What did he appoint to us? The laws and commandments. But they were eager to corrupt all their deeds. Therefore, wait for me, declares the Master, for the day when I raise up to the prey. Indeed, my decision is to gather nations, to assemble kingdoms, to pour out on them my indignation, all my burning anger, for all the earth will be devoured by the fire of my zeal. For then I will give to the peoples purified lips, that all of them may call on the name of the Master. There you go, right there. He said, when he do all these things and destroy all these nations and gather these nations together, as he pour out, he said, let me go back to verse 8 again. Therefore wait for me, declare the Master, for the day when I raise up to pray. Indeed, my decision is to gather nations, to assemble kingdoms, to pour out on them my indignation, all my burning anger, for all the earth will be devoured. This is past, this is present, this is future. By the fire of my zeal, by his righteousness, for then I will give. That means it ain't been given yet. For then I will give to the peoples purified lips, that all of them may call on the name of the Master. Until you got purified lips, you ain't getting the real name. So people saying Yah, people saying Ahaya, people saying Ayah. He said right here, Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9, for then I will give to the peoples purified lips, that all of them may call on the name of the Master, to serve him shoulder to shoulder. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my worshipers, my dispersed ones will bring my offerings, and that day you will feel no shame because of all your deeds. By which you have rebelled against me. For then I will remove from your midst your proud, exalting ones, and you will never again be haughty on my set-apart mountain. That is knowledge and wisdom being poured out right now on this Shabbat. Even though the sun is going down, for most, Shabbat is not over for me until the sun rises on the first day, which is Sunday. So Shabbat for me is from sun up to sun up. As you go in the book, when the Messiah was being crucified, when he went to anoint the body, it was in the wee hours. Shabbat was over. The sun was coming up on the first day of the week. So Shabbat wasn't over until the sun came up on the first day of the week, which was Sunday. And it was becoming dawn. It was dawning. Verse 12. But I will leave among you a humble and lowly people, and they will take refuge in the name of the Master. The remnant of Israel will do no wrong and tell no lies, nor will a deceitful tongue be found in their mouths. For they shall feed and lie down, with no one to make them tremble. Shout for joy, O daughter of Zion. Shout in triumph, O Israel. Rejoice and exult with all your heart, O daughters of Jerusalem. The Master has taken away his judgment against you. He has cleared away your enemies. The King of Israel, the Master, is in your midst. You will fear disaster no more. And that day it will be said to Jerusalem, do not be afraid, O Zion. Do not let your hands fall limp. The Master, your Elohim, is in your midst. The victorious warrior, he will exalt over you with joy. He will be quiet in his love. He will rejoice over you with shout of joy. I will gather those who grieve about the appointed feast. Listen, I will gather those who grieve about the appointed feast. They came from you, O Zion. The reproach of exile is a burden on them. Behold, I am going to deal at that time with all your oppressors. I will save the lame and gather the outcast, and I will turn their shame into praise and renew in all the earth. At that time I will bring you in, even at the time when I gather you together. Indeed, I will give you renewed and praise among all the people of the earth when I restore your fortune before your eyes, says the Master. May the Master have blessed me in the reading of the scriptures of Zephaniah chapter 2 and chapter 3. He said, for all who want to argue about the name, he just said that when I purify your lips, then you will be able to call on my name. He just said, that was Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. For then I will give to the people purified lips, that all of them may call on the name of the Master. So we ain't got purified lips. We're in an unpurified land. We're in a filthy, disgusting place. So we're not purified, period, to even speak his name. You better be glad you don't know his name. Because you did and you blasphemed and you talked and spoke his name, being unpurified, being defiled, you will be dead. Look at the young man who touched the ark and died. But yet, when the oxen had the ark in his whole house was blessed, and everything he did was blessed, because he was purified. You best believe he was purified. Because when you go through that story in King David of why the young man died for touching the ark, and what happened, what David saw happen, and ordered the Levitical priesthood as it was in the day of old, because he knew that it was because of touching the things of the Most High and not being pure. So how much more if we're just touching a physical thing is it when it would be speaking His righteous name. Then we're going to talk about the feast days. Right here, He just said, verse 18, I will gather those who grieve about the appointed feast. They came from you, O Zion, the reproach of exile. Exile is a burden on them. Because it's a burden on them, because to be in exile and be in the land of our enemies, trying to keep these feast days is hard. So everybody arguing about, well, we can't keep them here because we're not able to keep them here. He said, I will gather those who grieve about the appointed feast. They came from you, O Zion. The reproach of exile is a burden on them. Behold, I am going to deal at that time with all your oppressors. I will save the lame and gather the outcast, and I will turn their shame into praise and renew. So those who grieve us about keeping these feast days, He said He's going to take care of them. This is not my words. This is the word of the Most High. I am that I am. Praise be to the Most High, the Creator of all, for this day is a blessing. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. I love you, Yashua.